The Oversight section on Syft is very useful when it comes to practice management. Within Oversight, you have a list of all of the entities that you've added onto Syft, and this gives you some key information which helps you get a sense of how well each entity is tracking within various different categories. You have a score for each of these categories except for the transaction category, which we'll look at a bit later. And this is indicated by a color and a percentage to show you how healthy the business is in terms of either its finance, its sales, or its data quality. You then have a few key metrics which have been included, and these are used in calculating that score. So these would be some of the metrics that you'd want to keep track of. Within each of these tabs, so when I refer to tabs, I'm talking about financial, sales, transactions, cleanup, anomalies, or the build view. Within each of these tabs, you could search for a specific entity. So I could go search for Jay's Cupcake Company. I can also filter any of these tabs by clicking on filter, and you can then go and select from a filter that's already been created. For example, I could select all entities that have cash less than 0, and then I could apply that filter. And now you'll note that all the entities that are showing have a negative cash. And that might be useful if you want to go and identify companies that have a cash flow issue. You could also go and create your own filter. So we could click on add new filter. And here we can give it a name. So we're going to say pulpy businesses. And we could then select a field. So you'll see various different options. I'm going to choose the financial score. And then we need to select the condition. So we can say if it's equal to, greater than, or various different options. So I'm going to say greater than 80. And then you can choose if you want to share it with your organization. So this filter will then be available to everyone in your organization, or to only allow this filter to be available to you. And you'd then select only me. You can also choose if you want it to show in the sidebar. So if you toggle this off, then this filter won't show in the sidebar and you'll have to come and select it from one of the options. But if you show in the sidebar, it will populate in that sidebar, which will make it easy to apply going forward. I'll show you that in a minute. So we're going to click save. And now we just need to go and deselect the all filter. Make sure we've got the one filter we want selected, and we're going to click apply. And now you'll see it's only showing us entities with a financial score that's above that 80. If we go to the sidebar, we'll also see that there's this healthy businesses filter. And if I were to click on this, it will take me directly to a filtered view of my financial view, where it's only showing me entities with that financial score above 80. So that's how you can use the filter option and add it to the sidebar for easy access in future. You can also create a filter for one of those fields that we've previously created and populated under overview. So to do that, you click on filter, and then you're going to click add new filter. So I'm going to select one of those fields that I previously created. So we're going to select accountant responsible. And an example or a use case for this field would be if you want to keep track of how well one of your accountants is managing their clients. So here we'd select the field to be accountant responsible. We'd select the condition to be whenever the accountant is equal to Sue. And we could choose if we want to share this with our organization or just make it payable to ourselves. And we can then name it Sue's clients. And then we can click save. We then make sure we've selected the filter and then click apply. And now it will filter that long list of entities connected to Syft for only those that relate to Sue. So these would be all of Sue's clients, and we could then go and consider if they are performing well or not. And you can do the same for each of the other tabs. You can do each of these tabs in different ways. We're currently looking at the current period's information because we've selected current, and the period we're looking at is determined with the universal date selector at the top. So we could change it to quarterly or daily, or even to a more specific period, and we could change the month that we're looking at as well. We could also go and look at the growth, and what this will do is it will show us the growth as compared to a previous period. So it'll either show us the growth since the previous period, which in this case would be month, or to last year's value. So we could change it to prior last year by just clicking on that. So here you can get some perspective because you're able to see not just the performance in the current period, but how that compares to a previous period. We're currently looking at it in a tabular format, but we can also look at it in a graphical perspective. So if we click on this button over here, it will show us the same information, but now more visually. And this makes it easy to see which client has the highest total income, or for example, those that are not doing well. So it's just a different way of looking at the information. We can also choose to hide totals and to pivot the data to get a different view of it. We can also copy this tab and use it as a base for a build oversight view where you can include customized columns, but we're going to explore that later when we look at the build view. So those are some of the features that are available in each of these tabs. Now let's go and consider why each of these tabs might be valuable to your accounting practice.